Hello and welcome to the Churros y Tacticas podcast. We are live on YouTube. We're going to do this a little bit different today. I'm your host, Kian Sabani, and I'm joined by Diego Lorin, but not quite. We're not here together. He sent in a pre-recorded video. Here's the situation, guys. We just had a very eventful weekend in La Liga that we could not really miss an episode. And we couldn't line up the recordings together because it was a holiday here. I was with the kids most of the day. So I was like, Diego, I'm going to be with my kids all day. But I really don't think we should skip this one or delay it to Tuesday because we got to give the people what they want. We had a massive weekend. We need some reaction. We just can't let our listeners, you know, be in the dark. They need to know our thoughts. So I told him, Diego, why don't we do this? Instead of skipping it because we can't coordinate our schedules, why don't you record a solo session and send in the audio, the video to me? Don't worry about it. I'll upload it on Spotify, I'll upload it on Apple, YouTube, etc. We're good. We're not going to miss this week. What I didn't tell him and what I decided before I went live on YouTube, and this is trial 2, as you guys know, if you guys were here live on YouTube like 15 minutes ago, I tried this and the audio wasn't working. I think I fixed it, so we're back. I decided I'm going to watch this Diego podcast with you guys together live. We're going to watch it for the first time together, and I'm going to react to it. I may not interject, but I may interject a million times. I'm not entirely sure yet. It really depends on what we hear from Diego. And also, here's my theory. My theory is that Diego secretly really, 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 really loves it when we can't record together because he has a fetish for solo sessions. He does this thing where he puts on music, he starts freestyling, he puts on this big, massive conspiracy theory hat, the biggest tinfoil thing you can find. It's on his head. He loves it. He's in his element. So I'm really happy for him to be able to do this, and I'm really happy to be able to watch it with you guys live together. So sit back, enjoy the show. I'm going to press play on Diego's solo session. It runs about 30 minutes. That's right, Anthony. Get your popcorn ready. What's up, Zuhir? Enjoy the show. If I need to interject, I will. If not, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show with you guys. So I received one favor from you guys in the chat. If you guys can hear the audio when I press play on Diego's podcast, just give me a thumbs up. Put a number 1 in the chat. Just give me some acknowledgement that the audio is working because I want to make sure that I don't go like 30 minutes and the audio doesn't work because that happened. Luckily, it was only a few seconds, so we didn't waste too much time. But just give me a thumbs up, okay? If the audio is working. Press play.
We are live. Yes, indeed. Welcome to the show, everybody. It is Monday. It is the 30th of September. It is 6:30 p.m. sharp. And guess who is back? It is me. It is D. D to the spot. Rocking it here on D spot for a churros.
I told you, he loves this shit.
I've gone live on the good old D Spot channel, but this is a churro special. Yes, indeed. Make no mistake, it might seem like a good old solo sesh, and it will be initially like that. However, Kian will send his response imminently right after I will finish recording this. Call it part 1 of today's churros. I will send it over to Kian Sobani, and he will make sure that he gets his wide in side wings if he has to. As I invite all of you to get comfortable, get out a drink. Why not? If you can, if you will. It is Monday. My preferred beverage of choice is some nice, cold, refreshing water. Always good. Hits the spine. Hope you.
I just gotta interject just because it's so like it's just look at how happy he is. He's so happy. He's so happy to be doing a solo session. He does not get this happy recording with me. I'm telling you. I'm so happy for him. He's having his moment.
You appreciate the backdrop. I'm working a little bit on the setting here. I said working a little bit. I did put it together. However, it is the taste. This is the doing of my wife, I should say. The great taste of the interior design and eyes of my better half. I think it's looking pretty neat. Without any further ado, we're going to get into the thick of things. nice and quickly because I need to get this over to Kian. The reason why we're doing this, it's a public holiday in Canada, so it seems happy public holiday in Canada Day for all of those of you joining us from over there, the North America region. And so he's got the kids with him, and they do not leave him in peace. He cannot he can. There's no plate spinning when it comes to these kind of things for Kian. So drop in your likes. I see I'm being joined by some of the D Spot faithful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Once again, we're here to discuss everything that happened over in El Sadar, mainly. Of course, we'll touch upon some things that happened over at the Juana Metropolitano as well. You might have checked this out. Notice nice little shirt, t-shirt, the old t-shirt. Guess who it is? My son got it immediately. And with that, he won a prize as well of a couple of more of these t-shirts. The good folks from Moji Mates, moji-mates.com. Thank you so much for your generosity.
Yo, is this podcast gonna start? Oh my God, what's going on? When is the podcast starting? By the way, Diego, thank you for making sure our video gets demonetized because this music is 100% copyrighted.
You and your missus doing such a great job. Here we go, old school Samueto. We have Johan Cruyff here with the Braceleta numero 9. Make no mistake, Johan wore 9, not 14. 14 was his Ajax days and his Holland days for the national side. And of course, this one here, still in the plastic. I just got home from work and found the package in the mail, or having been delivered rather. Ronaldinho with the number 10. Awesome t-shirts. Again, thank you to the good folks from mojimates.com. Go check it out. I'm gonna make sure that Kian adds the link to mojimates.com. You guys can make use of the discount code, 15% off on all your orders of these awesome t-shirts. And quite frankly, they're sick. I mean, look at even the blue. Love this blue. Albiceleste, the reminder of a little hint of the Argentinian heritage roots of Diego Maradona while supporting the Barca shirt. 1982, this one, of course, the year that he landed at Football Club Barcelona to send the footballing world by storm, albeit for such far too short of a time. Let's go. Through which he was injured, of course, for a large part as well. But this one, we're not here to talk about the history of my beloved Barca, at least not the long-term history. We're not going that far back. We're going to rewind the tape, though, because I do want to touch upon the Champions League clash that is coming up, of course, tomorrow. It's the young boys. The young boys are coming to town from the Shrine.
Guys, don't worry. There's only 25 minutes of this left. Okay, sit tight. Sit tight.
The young boys from Bern, the defending champions. Here's something crazy. Didn't know this, but found out they have won the last 6 of the 7. So 6 of the last 7 Swiss Super League titles have fallen to the young boys. I say I'm surprised I didn't know this because currently they are penultimate in the league standings. Can you believe it? Second from last. It's been not a great start to the season for the defending champions as they take to the European stage in what is, of course, round 2, match day 2 of the league phase. They've lost to Aston Villa in their game 1, and that suits us down to the ground, you could say, seeing as Barca's also got some amends to make in the top European competition following the loss against Monaco. And tomorrow is just the perfect occasion to do so against definitely one of the more
Diego, I really, really hope that the Courtois, Atletico, all that stuff is coming up really soon, bro. I really hope so. You know what? We're taking a break from this 800 million minute intro with The music on top of Diego's voice, which you can barely hear him. Tragic TV, super chat. Thanks for not making your intros that effing long. Bro, I thought my intros were actually too long sometimes. I feel great now. I feel so great. I feel like I'm a saint. I feel like I'm a saint. Uh, all right. Let's see what Diego has to say.
Rivales asequibles, one of the more favorable opponents we have in the league face before we face Bayern.
Okay, by the way, a quick interjection. I'm going to start doing reaction videos like more often. I'm trying to free up some more time. If you guys have anything you want me to react to, if there's a video on the internet, whether it's another creator, whether it's a pundit on TV, and it's just a take you want me to react on, like, or dunk on or react to, send it to me. The best place to get a hold of me right now is DM me on IG. Like, send me a clip at Kionso, and I will put it in my files of videos I'm going to react to. I'm going to start doing it more often. It doesn't have to be anything long form. It could be a 30, 60-second video. I'll react to it. So if you are interested in me doing that, just send it to my IG on DMs and I'll get to it.
Next, I mean, we're getting now ahead of ourselves. That is the end of October 23rd, I believe it is. Barca, Bayern Munich before the Clásico on the 26th. But like I said, I'm skipping the whole month of October before we still have stuff to talk about that took place over the weekend in El Sadar before 2 loss. But this month of October, it's going to be a good one, despite the fact that we, of course, are going through another international break, which would put the domestic competition and the European one, for that matter, on hold. En fin, shall we rip the Band-Aid off? I've been going now for a good 7 minutes, and I want to keep it short and snappy. I think I've been dancing around the fire for long enough now. It's time to talk about this always interesting Osasuna Barça clash.
Mr. Sushi says he did nothing but complain this whole video. So I'm assuming you watched it, because I didn't realize he's actually uploaded on his D-Spot channel up until now. So let's buckle up then. Let's buckle up for Diego Lorin hot takes, and let's see where it goes. I'm very excited for this.
Say always interesting. El Sadar traditionally, historically, has been a ground that for all big teams, La Liga teams, it's a tough place to pick up points in. It's been quite a fortress, not as much maybe as a couple seasons ago, excuse me. But El Sadar, always a tough ground, hostile atmosphere, and just a very good worked, Basque side that love their grit grind type of style of football. And this one was highly entertaining. And I'll say right off the bat, Barça, we didn't deserve to win this one. Despite the obvious adversities, challenges that we faced heading into this match, and by that I mean the heavy rotations. This game was conditioned from the get-go, really, because of this insane footballing schedule. Of course, Hansi Flick was obliged to rotate some of our heavier used players with more minutes, and he decided to do so ahead of this game against the side from Pamplona, and you have to respect that. I mean, look, we still had several key players out on the field. This is not, by that I mean to say, this is not an excuse I'm putting forward, by any stretch of the imagination. But the fact of the matter is that we had Lamine Yamal out, Rafinha was out, Diego Martinez, Alejandro Balde in the back as well. So heavy rotations, not to also add to the fact that we still have many key players injured, of course, that remain unavailable. Knock on wood, great news that Frankie will make his return, hopefully a successful one, a healthy one above all, as the Dutchman is nearing the end of his recovery process. So, all that being said, Osasuna came out the way you expect them to come out, at home in front of their fans. They were fired up. It was all guns blazing. And in the first 45 minutes, for me, the game was done and dusted in the first 45 minutes in the first half. Uh, I have little to nothing to say about the 1-0. Again, mind you, I need to give a shout out to Brian Zaragoza as well as Budimir, old man Budimir, who's been in football, professional football, La Liga for such a long time for so many teams, and he's es una garantía. He's a guarantee for goals, and likes the big man likes to score against Barca as well. It's got quite a hefty track.
Gotta hand it to Diego. This has just been nonstop demonetization after demonetization, copyrighted music, looping one after the other. My feedback on this, Diego, is that the volume's got to be a little bit lower. It's kind of trumping your voice right now. So that's just a minor thing. If we're gonna go with music, I think it needs to be a little bit lower. But yeah, Osasuna uh, fully deserved that win. The XG was like 2.75 to I think point. Barca definitely had an XG less than one. Brian Zaragoza cooked Julius Koundé. I thought it was a great performance, Osasuna. Well deserved. And rotations or not, injuries or not, these are definitely situations that Barcelona is going to run into. So uh, you know, I, I wouldn't necessarily call it an outlier for reasons I'll get into. I'll let Diego finish this point about Osasuna.
Record. But man, was Brian Zaragoza. That dude was playing inspired football. Um, just very dangerous in the build-up already of the first goal in the opening 20 minutes. There was not a whole lot to being said in those early minutes, other than the fact that Osasuna looked like the hungrier team right from the get-go, right from the beginning. This would have, early on, kind of gave a sense that this was going to be a match rather, where I was able to see the team drop some points. Again, for the reasons that I mentioned, right? The rotations, the scenario, the stage, the way that these players came out as well. They just looked hungry. They so far, I think Barca has been a team that we can categorize as very aggressive in the way they applied the high press and the way that it dominated possession and made use of that possession as well. And the same couldn't be said for what we saw in the opening first half against Osasuna. Osasuna, on the other hand, immediately made the best use of the possession that they had, scored a brilliant opening goal from the left flank. Zaragoza with a great assist to Budimir, and caught Barca's defense, just not being as attentive as they could have been or should have been in order to clear that ball, get their head first to the ball. But nothing I'm going to take away again from that 1-0 that broke the deadlock. However, and here we get into some more sensitive or controversial topic. I say controversial, although, based from what I've seen online, what I've been as well, reading in the papers, and I think there's a general consensus that Barca got done by very harshly. They did us dirty once again.
Here we go. Here we go. Wow, it took how many minutes? 12 minutes to Diego to start crying victim about Barcelona. Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
All right, Diego, let's hear it. Continue, please. Make the case.
There's no other way to say it. Once again, we were on the shit out of a stick when it came to a decision in the build-up and the lead-up to the 2-0, where Brian Zaragoza, again, the man was everywhere, playing like a man possessed, but did unintentionally foul Pau Victor when he dispossessed the Barca player and set himself up for an absolute emphatic finish. That goal, sent a dagger through the hearts of me, at least, of Barca fans watching. It just felt like that was going to shift the momentum permanently for the remainder of the match. It was just like it looked like it was going to be a mountain too high to climb for Barca to get ourselves out of this one, at least with the 3 points. You can still argue, we had an entire 45 minutes left to play, and that is true. And we did make a value comeback. I think our response was even good for that matter. Um, but and I didn't see the foul. I just threw my hands in the air when Brian Ferrogoza scored, walked around Iñaki Peña, beautiful step over, and slotted that elegantly into the back of the net. And applause. But when in the repetition I see that the Osasuna forward stomped Pau in the process, even the commentators were saying, well, they're going to review that. They're going to call that one back and this will be reviewed. And I was thinking, yeah, of course, because how many match days ago, how many weekends ago was it when Jules Koundé got called for the exact same thing in the lead up to a goal that Barca scored on that occasion, even much later, right? I mean, perhaps a minute is a little bit exaggerated, but certainly 40, 50 seconds later was it when Barca scored that goal that was eventually disallowed because of a Rafinha involuntary stomp as well. I mean, it's exactly the same situation, right? VAR comes into play, referee rewinds the tape, sees the stomp, calls the goal off. Okay. Well, if we're going to do this, if we're going to do that, and yes, I know that there are more examples. There's the Courtois Betis stomp that also didn't get called. So why the inconsistencies? I know that Kian is probably listening to this, saying out loud, referees suck for everyone, but they suck more for some than for others. That's just undeniable once again as this season currently gets underway.
It's very deniable. It's extremely deniable. And every single fan thinks that they're the victim. Have you ever noticed? By the way, I wonder if Diego will mention at all that Betis got fucked, completely fucked in the last minute this weekend. Um, every single fan base in La Liga can make a compilation of bad calls against them. Every single fan base can also make a compilation of calls, which they don't want to do this, but of calls that have gone for them. There is, look, the thing with this take, Diego, is actually I don't disagree about that one sequence. I think Barca should have had that goal rescinded. I think there was a foul. I agree with you in that situation. Where I don't agree is that I know that this will be the only thing you bring up. With Real Madrid, I'm sure I'm gonna guess you're gonna bring up the Ender kick in the balls and whatever you're gonna bring up with Atletico. But of course, you're not gonna bring up all the calls that went against Real Madrid in that same game against Alaves. That's my issue. Is that you look at it through one single lens. You see the calls that go against Barca and the calls that go in favor of Real Madrid. You see nothing else. You don't see the calls that go against Real Madrid. You don't see the calls that go for Barca, and you don't see the other 18 teams in La Liga getting fucked every weekend.
It's match day after match day. There's controversy after controversy, and it drives me absolutely mad. It drives me up the wall. It drives me up the freaking wall. Consistency, referees, man. If you're gonna call stomps, call them for everyone. If you're not gonna call them, and you can stand, I don't even know where I generally stand, whether I'm in favor for these types of goals being annulled, being canceled. You know, all I want is consistency. If we're gonna do it, then do it for everyone all the time. But this was just absolute 100 BS, and it drives me mad. It drives me mad. Great finish. Brian Zaragoza played the lights out. The kid was inspired. I didn't know he was good friends or seemingly good friends with some of the youngsters on in the Barca dugouts. Players there were very friendly, chopping it up. And when he plays like that, he's a joy to watch. I see Brian Zaragoza mainly just twice a year, but every time I do, I take something very positive away from this player. He's so talented, so gifted, and this cool, calm finish was a thing of beauty. But unfortunately, it should have been canceled. I say unfortunately, it wasn't canceled. It should have been in our case because it was a foul, a blatant one. All right, good folks. By the way, some of you Patreon loyals, patreon.com/churros y tácticas. The reason we didn't put out an episode on Friday, I have been sick. No, lo siguiente, next level sick. Last week, all of last week, I was out. Didn't even get to go to Barca One to present the news. 39 fever for 5 days straight. Influenza B ain't nothing to mess with. Don't f with it. I suffered through it, and I'm still suffering through it. Not 100%, but at least the fever is under control. I say all this because I have to save my voice. My throat is still on fire. It hurts ever so much. So I'm not here to, you know, looking for pity or anything, but I do want to. I want to make this as brief as possible. Get to the point because tomorrow is a big day. I'm gonna be doing the news and the game in the evening. Make sure that you, good folks, subscribe, of course, to Barca One to check out all of the daily content that we put out. But I've got the pleasure, besides presenting the news, to also call the game tomorrow. So I need to save the voice. This is gold here, audio gold. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? So that for me really like kind of like conditioned the rest of the game, man. You know what? Like from there on, what can I say?
This happens a lot when Barcelona drop points and there's a decision that Diego doesn't agree with. This is not the reason Barcelona lost. This is not what changed the game. They cooked you. They cooked you. But this narrative comes out a lot that the game shifted because of this, because of that. Um, he's done this on many occasions when Barcelona lose against Real Madrid in the same game where Real Madrid gets screwed by the ref in the same Clasico. He says the referee changed the game for Real Madrid in their favor. This happens a lot. That's not why Barca lost. Barca got outplayed thoroughly.
It was already clear that this was going to be an uphill struggle. It was already clear that Osasuna came out determined to make life difficult, something that they do, repeatedly, especially on their home ground. Um, I kind of felt like that's it. There is no way out. It is going to be that kind of a game where, again, I was pleased with the reaction in the second half. I can't say that I wasn't. Already early in the second half, Pau Victor, the victim of the Brian Zaragoza stomp, puts in the 2-1, kind of giving Barca a lifeline. That was was an absolute shocker. You have to say that Herrera would have been wondering what exactly happened there. He basically running. He's running back. It's a bad pass. It's intercepted. He's with his back towards goal. And well, we've seen shockers like that happen in the past. It's one of those. It could have been worse, in all honesty. But obviously, Pau Victor doesn't get a whole lot of power behind that shot. It's all placement, accuracy, and an awkward angle near at the near post. In fact, for Herrera, who then falling back, just he shits it. I mean, he shites it. Ball rolls over the goal line. It's a lifeline for Barca. It's 2-1 at that point, and it's a game. All of a sudden, it's a game until the penalty, right? Until the 70th, what is it? 70 seconds, yes, minute, where Osasuna get a penalty call. Also here, um, I've nothing to say about the penalty itself. Clear penalty. Um, Unfortunate one for Dominguez to kind of slide in up on behind. I think it's Zaragoza, as a matter of fact, that provokes that penalty as well. So I mean, again, what a game from Zaragoza. I think it's him. I might be mistaken, but of course, Budimir does the honors as he gets his brace on that occasion, and I say, look, where's my pickles? Because I felt that Lamine Yamal should have gotten a penalty as well. And again, to draw parallels with our friendly neighbors from the nation capital, Real Madrid, where Endrick, I think it was, yes, it is Endrick that gets tugged even outside of the penalty box to then eventually land halfway in it and force a penalty call. Why, when Lamine Yamal gets manhandled and falls to the ground in a play where the refereeing committee actually publicly have come out and warned players, warned teams, warned coaches, said any grab within the area, any tuck of the shirt, any grabbing will be deemed a foul and be rewarded or punished rather with a penalty. It didn't happen on this occasion. Double standards, you know, it drives one mad. It makes me more gray by the passing of each single match day. It is what it is. But you know, 3-1 with a little bit over 15 minutes left to play, and eventually, of course, well, the fourth dagger, or even there, Bretones beautiful steal, dispossesses Lamine Yamal and takes it on his first shot. I mean, an an absolute beauty of a goal. But also here, and you know, you hate to do it. Much better job at these kind of plays, pointing out the hypocrisies, pointing out the injustices. But here we see a brilliant shot, but who is completely impeding the vision of an Iñaki Peña? It's this good man over.
Diego, I'm just wondering if you're going to bring up the fact that Brian Zaragoza was taken down in the box and should have had a penalty. The exact same play that you're complaining about Lamine Yamal. Zaragoza, for that same action, did not get a penalty. And I'm still waiting for you to bring up the Endrick when he got manhandled in the box by Mourinho and the Alaves game. I'm curious as to when you're going to bring that up, because so far you've cherry picked what you wanted to cherry pick and they've ignored the rest. Sandra Bullock style, blindfold on in the canoe. This is just painful.
We're here, and how many times in other occasions have we seen the referee call for, como le llaman, un fuera de juego provisional, like a provisional offside, I believe it's called. And my friend here, Beta Verso, does an excellent job at pointing out these hypocrisies. All you Barca fans, make sure that you give this good man a follow. He's on the right side of the debate, on the right side of the battle, as we continue to point things out. Where if you're wearing certain colors,
Hey guys, everybody go and follow Zona Blaugrana, Mr. Satan, Mr. Conspiracy, Mr. Anti Real Madrid, Mr. Whatever. Just make sure you follow those accounts and no one else, so you can have the exact same algorithm as Diego Lorin.
Free, we'll call that an offside situation where the player is in an offside position, impeding the field of vision of the goalkeeper, and it will disallow the goal. And in other situations, they will allow it to stand and play to continue. Right? At that point, you know, it's late in the game. Lamine Yamal still has a little bit of inspiration and time left to, of course, put in a beautiful goal of his own, to put his goal tally up to what is it, 5 goals now, 4 goals. Here we go, 4 goals for Lamine with 5 assists. Rafinha, goal production of 9. Rafinha 5 and 3, goal production of 8. And Robert Lewandowski with 7 and 2, goal production of 9 as well. The Barca forwards are just, level ahead, level above the forwards of the other teams competing in the league at the moment. 21 points. Luckily, we can still, breathe a sigh of relief and talk about having lost only 1 point ground with the second place team, Real Madrid, because of what happened in the Wanda Metropolitano, of course. And, well, my goodness. Should we touch a little bit about on what happened over there in the Madrid Derby? It was another feisty affair. Unfortunate that we had to witness some of the scenes that we did, some of the, of course, radical behaviors is something that we don't want to see in
Very, very fitting music, Diego, for all that despicable behavior. Good. This is great.
football. Has no place here. The aggression that Courtois was exposed to is something that you don't want to see. However, there's absolutely no doubt that Courtois was also provoking.
Oh no! Oh my god! Not you, Diego. I mean, I can't be that surprised, but come on. Are you serious, bro? Oh no. Oh my god. Please go on and tell me how he provoked. Please tell me.
The fans in, you know, in not behaving in that kind of way, but certainly the fact that he was que se estaba encarando, that he was kind of taunting them. We saw images now after Militao scored the goal of Courtois basically running back to the crowd, giving them a couple of these kind of fist bumps, hand gestures.
I can't even begin to. I'm not even sure if I can honestly do this justice and put the right words into my mouth and speak this into the microphone. So when did we get so soft with player celebrations? I don't get this. If Griezmann does a Fortnite dance, that's cool. Vinicius does a samba dance, that's provocative. Messi holds up his shirt at the Bernabeu, that's badass. Courtois celebrates a goal at the Metropolitano, that's provocative. Luis Figo walks over to the corner flag, take a corner, and picks up the garbage and puts it to the side. That's provocative. He deserves everything thrown at him. What? Players are allowed to celebrate however they want. My favorite celebration of all time is Raul putting his fingers to his lips and shushing the Camp Nou. That was awesome. Cristiano Ronaldo, calma, calma. That's awesome. That's not provocative. Come on, how soft can you be? By the way, what comes first? Provocation. Provocation comes before the reaction, right? So when Atletico fans are pissing and taking a shit all over Courtois' plaque outside the Metropolitano, is that provocative? When they are telling him, chanting him for him to die before the goal is scored, that's the provocation, bro. That's the provocation. Courtois is absolutely allowed to celebrate and stick it to them. That's bullshit, man. Coming from a guy who watched basketball in the 90s, you love trash talk, you love shit talk, you take issue only when Real Madrid players do it, that's bullshit, bro. Provocation. Come on, man. Not you too. I expect it from Atletico, who supports that racist fan base and allows them in the stadium, and then says bullshit after the game to defend them. But from you, come on. I know you would not feel this way if that was Ter Stegen and Nets.
Laughing at them, taunting them by doing this sort of things. That's when it started to rain objects, of course. And the Belgian goalkeeper took it upon himself to pick up a few lighters and show the referee. And that is, of course, when the game got suspended, rightfully so. As I said, there's no place in football for that kind of behavior from the crowd, but neither from the goalkeeper.
Not to defend Dani Alves in any shape or form, because he's turned out to be a despicable human being, but I really wonder what Diego thought of that time when Dani Alves had a banana thrown at him and he picked it up and he ate the banana. Was that provocative, Diego? Who are we blaming here?
Whether his name is Courtois, whether his name is Vinicius, whether his name is Andres Iniesta, Leo Messi, Neymar, or whoever it is, the players shouldn't be taking it upon themselves to lure radical, especially the radical fans, to that kind of
Yeah, Messi would never do that. Never.
extremes. Invite them to do that. It's that's just not smart thinking. If you're a professional, mature player, you want to stay away from it. And there's no doubt in my mind that Atletico de Madrid.
Hey, Diego, what happened? What did Fermin Lopez do in the Bernabeu last year? Can you remind me what Fermin Lopez was doing in the Bernabeu last year? Did he jump over the boards? Did he celebrate right in front of the Real Madrid fans? Mm. mm. Very interesting. The tunnel vision on this one, man. This is this is even for Diego, man.
He's going to get fined for having thrown objects onto the field, and they should get fined. But the rules and laws of the game of football clearly stipulate that players cannot provoke and taunt the fans neither. So we'll have to wait and see whether Courtois will also face some punishment, some form of ramification from having again.
I sure hope not, because Fermin didn't.
I don't, for lack of a better word, provoked, or for having what's the word I'm looking for? Having uh, faced off against the fans. Again, the images are there. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm sure Madu Beta will have something on his timeline.
Hey, anyone want to take a guess? Is Diego going to pull up an image of Courtois throwing the lighter back, or is he going to throw, or is he going to put the image of the fans throwing lighters at Courtois? Which one do you think Diego's going to bring up? I wonder. Which side is he going to take? Everyone, put your guess in the chat. Is Diego going to bring up an image of Courtois taunting the fans, aka celebrating, or is he going to put the image of the racists in the crowd and the guys who should never be in that stadium who were throwing lighters? Let's see which image Diego's going to bring up.
But you just want to avoid that. So we'll see what happens there. The derby itself. Well, look, I mean, what sucks is if you're a colchonero, is that you receive the 1-0 after a foul that's called on Vinicius. Mind you, an absolute dive. Again, here, Kian, I hope that you're on my side here to see that Vinicius didn't get touched whatsoever. In fact, who's the one that takes him down, that provokes the foul? Lenormand, I think it is, right? He picks up a yellow card as well. Therefore, he's conditioned for the rest of the match. Doesn't touch Vinny. Vinny falls down. Something we are seeing quite a bit as well this season. This kind of this flopping phenomenon from basketball, or pistinazos in football terms. We see it. It's on the rise, I would say, this season. Referees are very lenient with it, and even punishing opponents when not touching other players with yellow cards. It happened in that play. Of course, Madrid managed to capitalize on that situation. Militao with an excellent finish, a great shot. But of course, very difficult for the Colchoneros to accept conceding a goal like that when there wasn't even a foul to begin with. On top of that, their player gets conditioned for the remainder of the game for receiving in yellow. And on top of that, you have then Courtois dancing and laughing in your face. Again, I'm not justifying the throwing of objects towards the Belgian goalkeeper. I repeat, that has no place in football. But I don't neither, in that same breath, understand why Courtois would want to milk that situation and make fun of and bring that kind of hatred upon himself by behaving in that kind of way. I just don't get it, and there's no justifying that. So anyway, in the end, I'm happy that they equalized in dramatic fashion. Luckily, they were able to finish that game. Of course, they first have to cancel the goal upon review. It was, of course, the correct call, and oh man, my throat is burning. It was, of course, the correct call. No offside, and correct.
Of course, the goal should not have been disallowed for offside. It should have been disallowed for a foul on Endrick earlier in the play.
Yeah, just with the winner at the buzzer. And I mean, shit, I was celebrating that. I don't know how anybody wouldn't be able to celebrate that. I know certain people are making fun of Atletico, of Colchoneros, of celebrating a draw. But hey, anytime you're able to manage.
What is this like? I don't understand where this absolute praise for Atletico comes from all of a sudden. Now excusing them celebrating a draw and dancing with the same ultras who should not be in the stadium. That's the hill you died on tonight. That's what you're praising. Small club mentality.
To knock off 2 points of Real Madrid, and more importantly, win a point yourself as well. After they've tried to cancel out your goal, after they have also given a goal or given a foul in a play that wasn't even a foul to begin with, you have to celebrate that, and especially in the last minute. So it was one of those typical Madrid derbies. And mind you, by the way, images as well show Fede Valverde calling hijo de puta to the referee after he then rules the goal legal onside for Atletico de Madrid. But we don't expect the Uruguayan midfielder to, you know, get apprehended for this neither. Even
Yeah,
though the
we
images
definitely
are
don't
there.
expect Gerard Piqué for all the shit he said to the referee, or Barcelona spending an entire era surrounding the referee and putting pressure on him. Why would that not be brought into the discussion here?
Images are there, folks. Um, it is what it is. A point each, and Barca still league leaders with 3 points. Up next in the league is Alaves. That's on Saturday or Sunday, I think it is. It's a early kickoff, 4:15 tomorrow. Young boys, the junge Jungs, the young boys coming to town. Ja, sehr gut. Das habe ich gerne. Ach du Scheiße, das sind die junge Jungs, oder? The young boys. Give that beat. All right. Let's hope for I want Barca to put the name on the map here in tomorrow's game. Tomorrow it's gonna be it's got to be one of those wins where we see a couple of players shine. Hopefully Ansu Fati can get minutes now that he's been back with the squad. Maybe Frankie can pick up a minute or two or 20 and get some first touches, good first touches for Hansi Flick's squad this season. Hasn't been playing since like April. So I'm looking forward to this one. And that is it. 33 minutes. Diego Maradona of MojiMates.com is going to sign off. Make sure that you check out the link below. All of you Churros listeners are privy to a 15% discount on these awesome t-shirts. The good folks from Moji Mates, thank you. I'm gonna love it this one. I'm loving this. Genius. All right, folks. That is Churros for today. Again, thank you for staying loyal. Thank you for being patient as well. Excuse the illnesses. It's the kids are back in school, and I get hit with influenza B. What am I gonna do? I was out. We will be back this week, hopefully together, the duo, the most underrated duo in sports podcasting. Kian, Diego, Churros y Tácticas. We are out. Peace. And of course, stay tuned for Kian's reply, which is coming after this one. Peace out, good folks.
All right, we got it. Not surprising, but kind of surprising, but really not surprising. Very one-sided. Everything that went against Barca, very cherry picked. Nothing that went against Osasuna, nothing that went against Real Madrid was brought up. Extremely one-sided, and people will call me biased, and I am. I will never be as biased as that dude. I will always admit if we fuck up, if things go in our favor, but that was on another level. Guys, thanks for tuning in to this impromptu live, me reacting to Diego's takes. Hope that you didn't drive your hair out. Certainly, my hair's gone because of Diego. Look, it's gone. Thanks, Diego. You made this man go bald. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys. We're busy as hell this week, so we'll see you at some point. Wednesday, we have the post-game show for Lille. I think we're going to try to do a preview pod tomorrow. And if you're a member over on Managing Madrid, Lucas just put up a solo podcast for our members. And also, you can see down there, patreon.com/churrositacticas. That's where you submit questions to Diego and I. And we answer them for our members once a week. Thanks, guys. Peace out.